Working like a slave, that's how I made this masterpiece. Living like a god, I lay at night, I rest in peace. They remember me, but I am not Haram or beef.
Peace. What's going on?
Everything.
Everybody doing? How everybody doing, man?
Feeling great.
Yeah, I know I am. You worked us this morning, Noble. You worked us this morning.
You know it.
But it was always amazing to get our good workout in. But can we do us our prayer? We're gonna get right into it. It's not gonna be that long. And we're gonna get out of here, man.
Let's get to give us our prayer.
Yeah, can you give us our North American prayer?
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night, by day. There was a prophet, Amen. Islamism, peace.
Peace. To everybody, to all the true light seekers, we're not going to be too long today. We're just going to have a quick little discussion to prepare us for our trust class that's coming up on private Zoom. It's going to be very illuminating if you want to learn. You know how to get with us, to get your spot, for the class. But what I'm preparing to do is I might have it already, Noble Malik, I might have it already pre-recorded so I can just send it to those students. They can watch the recording, get all the information and do their homework. And then the next class, we'll have the Q&As, because if you don't have any questions and answers, then it's just a lecture. And that's not what these courses are. These private courses that I'm going to be doing starting July 17th is going to be for information for us. I went to academia and had the pleasure to learn this. And now I'm offering this to my brothers and sisters and true light seekers for a small donation to our temple and school of only $50. And you're going to get the research, you're going to get the information. So this is packed with vital information. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you believe in. We're not here for that. We're here to learn. If you're not here to learn, don't waste your time on our social media platform. We're not going to respond to trolls. We're not going to get into that because that's a waste of intelligence. That shows the lack of wisdom to a grown person that jumps on here and become a troll. So we're not even worried about that. You will be blocked. So we're not going to get into that. It's other platforms that you can be in your lower self and do that and create your own. But here, we're not going to entertain that. We're here to learn. We have the right to learn. And so I want my brothers and sisters to, once again, starting July 17th, we're going to have our private trust class. And it's going to teach you about the different trusts. It's going to teach you about not doing litigation. I'm going to have documents for you can get. And then it's only going to be about a 30-minute. The first class might be just 30 minutes. I'm going to give you the information for you to study. I'm going to give you the information for you can study so you can ask questions, because there's no such thing as a dumb question. This is not a lecture. This is a class. So I'm going to give you all the information. I'm going to hit some bullets. That's very vital for you to know the different type of trust, what type of trust is good for you. How to set it up, how to finance your trust. All these things will be in this crash course, and you will be able to ask questions. And so it's going to be July 17th, and it's going to be on our private Zoom, and it's a suggested $50 donation to our temple and school. In academia, it might take you 3 months to get this, and they probably won't even touch all these bullets because they don't want us to know this. I'm being honest. They want us to keep things in probate. They want you to have your assets in public and it's dragged out and don't understand about private, don't understand about trust. We don't understand that. We have got caught up with the wrong people on social media with this fugazi stuff. But we want to do things the right way. And my Noble Malik, he's here. He's going to have some information, I'm sure. But today I want to just talk about just a little bit about land ownership, but land ownership under the group economics, under our religious organization that's tax exempt from the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, and educational wise. My dad is an elder, 80. My mother in close. A lot of our parents that age. And my mother and my father is our biggest supporters here at the BBT. Here at the BBT, I had a vision. I shared my vision with my muftis. Our vision, it aligned. And now we are the owners under our organization that's tax exempt for the federal government. We own 10 acres and we just bought another piece of acres that's ready to build on. This is what we're trying to share with our people about group economics, about having things. It's not just trust for yourself personally, it's a trust for your religious and charitable contribution in your organization. So you do things in group economics and it's in a whole different tax bracket and you own things. I give you a small analogy real fast. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple School is tax exempt from the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, educational wise. So we buy property under our organization. So we control everything but own nothing. We are the trustees of the land. So I'll give you an analogy. I shared a piece of property in my city of Flint because there's nice houses in the city of Flint. And so I showed that house was $98,000, a beautiful house that my friends' parents owned. You know, they passed and they just didn't have their paperwork set up right. And so the house is on the market. I'm just using this house as an analogy. So the house is $98,000, right? So I'm just showing people how you have to know what you're doing. So with a person that have not great credit, say if you have a score of 500, you can get an FA loan. I'm just doing the basics, not crossing everything, but you can get an FA loan, you know, for that amount of money. But say if you have funds, FHA, excuse me, and you have 10,000, you put that 10,000 down. Now you're getting a loan of 90,000. Based off once that's drew up, you can do a 30 to a 15-year mortgage. You know, preferably with the right amount of people. Say if you have 10 people that's on the same level with that, you got 10 people with a 15-year mortgage. You're going to be paying, I say close to $700 a month. You can have that paid off in 15 years. And now say if you got 10 people that's breaking that down, it's covered and everybody become owners. As the property go up, as the property, you know, go in value, equity go in value, those 10 people that's under that religious organization, just those 10 people, you can have more, but those 10 people on that same vision, they all apply for that. And now we all on that mortgage per se, we all on that trust. The paper is drawn up a certain way, the contract is agreed on. So now us as a body, as a religious and charitable contribution that's tax exempt from the government, don't y'all know we structure that as a parsonage and that become an asset? Think about what I'm saying, ownership, and we own things. This is how I show you when people watch The Sopranos and all this. And I say, well, do you understand the analogy and the science behind Sopranos? Why? The church own everything. The Teamsters own everything. The people that's hustling, they can donate cash, you know, and the church can use it for the good. You can take something that people say is so-called bad and make it for the good. Why? Because that's how it works. We have to understand that, and we're not taking advantage of it. Why? Because we're letting the worst of us be the main speaking or the mouthpiece for our community, and they're not. I'm showing us what we can do in our communities and own property and own our own religious houses, our temples and schools, where we don't have to be big in society or the public schools to teach our kids this, because it's not their job. The public school job is to teach government mandated public school stuff. It's our job to teach this stuff privately in our spiritual houses, which we have the right to do. And everyone will be stakeholders. I always use the analogy of my people going to church. Your mothers, your grandmothers been going to church forever, but they're not stakeholders. Your mothers, your grandmothers been donating money to the church, but they don't get a tax exempt receipt to claim on their taxes. Why? Because this not been taught. When you donate to your religious organization, there's no way you can avoid paying your taxes. This is what I always want to teach people. Oh, I want to not pay taxes. That's cap. That's called stealing. Oh, I'm going to use my cousin, baby mama kids for that. No, that's why I don't do taxes for us. We're either going to give our money to Uncle Sam willingly, or we're going to donate to our spiritual and our religious and our charitable contribution of our choice and get a tax exempt receipt. So we can claim on our taxes and we build infrastructure. This is what this is all about. We don't have to beg no one. We are giving our money away to Uncle Sam willingly. Why? And our people right now, you, not me, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying you as a people, as a collective, thinking you get ready to get a tax return. And then when I ask you how much Uncle Sam took out your check based on the year, you couldn't even tell me. You couldn't tell me. And then when you get a job, I say, well, how much percentage are you letting Uncle Sam take out your check? You can't tell me. You don't tell me. And so I ask you, where's your money going? It's going to a private banking system. We are a private banking system. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is a private banking system. I keep telling people, tax is only good for entrepreneurs and business people. It's not good for regular people. We're supposed to cipher our money to our religious and our charitable contribution of our choice and do infrastructure in our community and stop begging. That's how we have our own charter schools and our spiritual houses and our libraries and own houses. How the money that we donate to our religious and charitable contribution of our choice. And we all become stakeholders. That's how we have a conglomerate. I'm a fraternal order. I'm a brotherhood. And it falls on deaf ears with misnomer BLACK people because we refuse to learn. I always tell my brothers and sisters, if you want to hide something from a misnomer BLACK person, put the wisdom in a book, because we don't study. We'll watch movies. We'll watch Love Hip Hop. We'll binge watch all these movies. But then when it comes down to our finances, when it comes down to our assets, we don't protect nothing. Everything is litigation. And then when parents pass and when this pass, everything is wrapped up in a will. Look how long we've been giving our money to Uncle Sam and Uncle Sam. And imagine if we decipher a tittle of that and get a tax exempt receipt from our charitable and our religious contribution of our choice, we can have infrastructure. I'll give you a small breakdown. 300 people giving $100 a month. That's $360,000 tax exempt dollars a year. That's not much, because when I talk to people, they say, man, I can just write a check. I can just give you $1,200 cash and we'd be done. One of my homeboys was like, man, I got on some $1,200 shoes. I was like, what kind of shoes you got on? He says, Balenciagas. No, wait, Alexander McQueen's. To me, they look like some medical shoes with a big heel. You know, the Herman Monster shoes. That's what they look like to me, with different colors. They look like some Herman Monster shoes. You hear me?
Yeah.
And we don't know. When I say we can't be upset because we don't know. Once we know, we have to get into the information, because a lot of our land was sold from under us. The Louisiana Purchase, it wasn't no purchase. It was sold from under us. My father, when he would tell about my family and his uncle, all their kids had 5 acres apiece built on their land. They lost their land. I know other families that got hustled out of their land and sold for morsels. Malik, me and you was talking about it, how your family surname had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of acres and an Air Force base bought it. But then when you look at the numbers, a lot of people they've been hustled out their money for a morsel, Noble Malik. I mean, for their land for a morsel. Yep. And this is not taught. And all we doing is arguing over things. We don't own nothing. You got to remember, the man, the woman, the group that own land can change the world. How? Because if say the trumpet being blown right now, you got 24 hours to go to your own land. You got to show this your paper. You just can't go to nobody's land. You got 24 hours to get on your own land. You got the resources, blah, blah, blah. You can survive. Everybody on here wouldn't survive. I don't care if you got a big mega church. I don't care if you go to TD Jakes Church, Joe Osteen Church, Bishop Morton Church. I don't care if you're part of the Nation of Islam and you say they got guns. You don't have
nothing. They did when it was time of need anyway. They didn't open their doors.
No. You see, you have nothing. And so here, what we're doing, we're trying to show our people to reevaluate. Me and Malik, we agree. We have digressed. Because if we owned things back then and everybody was so-called come out of slavery and this, that, and the other, and people were able to get guards and own land, and today we all working, everybody think they're getting a tax return, everybody filing taxes and all that, we can be exempt, how? Forever. If we understand tax codes, you can file exempt forever, long as you're doing the work yourself. Because depending on your job, whatever tax bracket you in, one, we have to be honest. That's number one with us. Number one with us, with the misnomer BLACK people, we have to be honest with ourselves and what's coming in. And that's number one with us. We don't be honest with the money that we have. We don't be honest with what we're spending. A lot of times we living above our means because we're not conscious of what's coming in. We just spending. And so when you look at these things, when you look at the big picture, you're like, wait a minute. I can donate to my religious and charitable contribution of my choice. They can give me a tax exempt receipt. We can buy all this stuff. We can own this, yes, collectively. So you got 300 people giving $100 a month, tax-free, tax-exempt. Everybody get a tax-exempt receipt. That's $360,000 a year. In my city of Flint, everything is for sale. I'm talking about churches and all that. We can make a cash offer and buy a building, and we all stakeholders. It's ours with a small overhead. It's ours. Then the big picture, I always like to use different people for reference, and we have a text screen with my brothers, and it was the brother talking building, and he was like, man, your vision is amazing. The difference for me is we tax exempt for the federal government. We have a charter. So it was a movie that Wesley Snipes was in, and he was a big time gangster and whatever happened. But I'm just making a long story short. At the end of the movie, he was getting ready to get indicted. So he went to the church first and dropped millions and millions of dollars in a tithe box and gave himself up. Because you can. You can donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. You can donate. And then when we doing it, if you want credit, we give you a tax exempt receipt. So now I said on a large scale, this is a large scale when people say powernomics. And I say, if they had all this powernomics back then and books, we can see how we can do things. And it ain't happening today. We digress. So you got 200,000 people giving just $10 a month. That's $2 million a year. I mean, a month. That's $24 million in a calendar year. Man, that's infrastructure right there. And that can happen. And those are real numbers. 200,000 people just giving $10. Just giving $10 a month is $2 million a month. That's $24 million in a year. $24 million tax exempt for the federal government. That's infrastructure. You don't have to beg nobody to do nothing. We adopt a certain area. And I'm just using my city of Flint. It's for sale. All the water ain't messed up in the city. You got to understand that. It's well water. It's so much tap in. When I'm talking about the communities, our communities are for sale. And developers are coming in, buying all this property up, building apartments or houses to where you will never own them. They use them as rental properties. You will never own nothing. So they're coming in our neighborhoods, buying stuff, buying blocks up, because we the only ones tearing our communities up. And then they come in our communities and they buy all the property up. They'll either build houses, same structure, or they'll build townhouses, build them all up right in the urban neighborhoods, and you will never own nothing. You will never own the land or nothing. And we don't own nothing in our communities. So the vision that I had, the vision that my Noble Malik had, the vision that my Muftis had, say we have to own land, not only off the grid, but we can buy land in our communities. Our neighborhood is for sale. We can buy blocks and turn it to our religious communities and put our modular homes and our metal rail car facilities on it and our temples and schools and our stores and have our own blocks. That's private. We have to wake up. We don't have time. We are giving our money away. And until we wake up and understand that what we can do collectively and what we're doing, we're not gonna have nothing. When
we're
people
not
say
giving our money away, we're giving our wealth away.
Yes. We're giving our wealth away, we're giving our assets. We don't even have a garden. Everybody say, oh, I'm getting these fruits and this and that, but you're getting it from the store. Oh, this is farm raised. Have you been on that farm? No. I could take you on the farm and the farm can be polluted. Oh, this farm raised or this. How do you know? We don't know. We don't know for a fact. Why? Because we are not producing anything. We're not producing anything. Once we got land, we can put greenhouses on it. We can produce fruits and vegetables and all type of stuff and have people on our land. We can control everything. How? Because we've given our wealth away to Uncle Sam. That we are giving our wealth away to Uncle Sam, and the world and the system is set up for us to win. Why? Because the religious laws trump everything. And it fall on deaf ears with most of my family, most of church people. And I say the churches is set up for us to win. If the church is tax exempt for the federal government, if everything is tax exempt from the pastor, everything he don't pay taxes on this, well, that should be for the whole collective. That should be for the whole collective.
It is. They just not showing you how.
And I show us how. And all my brothers, I showed us how. I've been a minister in 2 churches. I didn't leave the church because I was disgruntled. I was making great money in the city of Flint. I left the church because I said I can't continue to do this because the Creator was whooping my butt every night. Because I know it's false. All the elders in the churches, Malik used to be like, you got to get your own temple and school, sheep, for what you know. I know how to feed the seniors. I know how to make sure seniors get a hot meal and a cold meal every day because I know the community programs. I used to work for my dad for Meals on Wheels. It was called Genesee County Community Action Resource Department, AKA GCAR, Meals on Wheels. So I know how to get things done. And that's all over. I know how to feed the seniors. That's free. I know how to make sure the seniors get a hot and a cold meal 5 days a week. In the summertime, they got the summer feeding program where they'll bring a hot and a cold meal to the kids in the summer. And while we train them, I know how to do these things. Why? Because we tax exempt from the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, education-wise. Our whole families can help. Our mothers and fathers can help. But we haven't been educated in this. And what we do, we give our money to Uncle Sam, which is a private banking system. And that's what we are at the BBT. And that's why we don't win. Why? Because everybody that have a job can help. But see, I know how a lot of us are. A lot of us are, like the scripture says, we are stiff-necked people. How? Because give me one reason why you'll be okay giving all your money to Uncle Sam. Oh, I feel my tax obligation. You can do the same thing with the BBT, and we can give you a tax-exempt receipt.
Because people are scared of what they don't know and they don't understand. That's really it. People are really scared of what they don't know and don't understand.
Well,
but you gotta want to learn. You gotta want to learn to make change.
Yeah, I agree. Also, and that's why I always tell people, I bring things back to us. I had the pleasure to go to academia. I have the pleasure to be a part of the Philosophical Research Society. I have the pleasure to talk to people every other week on campus about this. I have the pleasure to talk with my professor. That's a Jewish potentate out here. That's a Mason out here. They own land. I saw them, me and my empress, when we used to stay in Litchfield Park, I saw them with a small Jewish church. Then they established a daycare. Then they established an elementary school. Now they got a high school. And I'm going to ride past and show y'all, all off the people. And of course, they apply for grants and stuff. Now they don't have to pay back. But he was like, all this is off the people. Because the people understand that they're not giving their wealth away to Uncle Sam and sit in a private banking system. They understand that they're private. So they converted that money into their religious organization. They get a tax-exempt receipt and they control everything. They under the same religious rights we under, and they winning. I'm talking about they own a fleet of cars. They own property all over. They own land like me and my Muftis do, but their stuff is developed. Now they have a greenhouse with gardens, all the fruits and vegetables. They got big trucks. They haul all the stuff in. At their church every weekend, they have farmers market sales where in a parking lot where they selling their fruits and vegetables and all that in the community. They create their own farmers market where they selling their items and all that right in their temple parking lot, right in their church parking lot. They ain't worried about sending their kids to nobody daycare and they treating them wrong. They have their own. They ain't worried about nobody sending their kids to their own elementary. They have their own. They have their middle school. They have their high school. Why? Because they can do that. We can do that. And once we lock on to this, and I do agree with my Noble Malik, I say misnomer BLACK people, not the others, because you see others winning doing this. Like I don't like to talk about people, but I'll use this brother name as a speaking point. I'm not going to say nothing negative about him. We can draw however we want. But what Dr. Umar Johnson had, he did have a good idea. Now, was this idea, or was he overwhelmed with it? Who knows? Whether his intention right? Who knows? But look at the money that man raised. It's nothing happening. What I'm telling y'all, this can be done. Our community is for sale. Urban neighborhoods is so much stuff that's just sitting there that we're going to let these developers come in and push us out the neighborhoods and push us back to high rises again and push us on top of each other. They're going to push us out our communities, and our communities are for sale. Land is for sale. And that's wealth. The man, the woman that own things, we can control the world. And the religious laws trump everything. Now, everybody that's working, you think you're getting a tax return. Everybody, they say, well, I'm going to let Uncle Sam take this much out of my check, and I think I'm going to get a tax return. The government don't give away free money, brothers and sisters. You only get a small tittle of what was being taken from you for the whole year. Now, this is a fact. Now, wouldn't you want to say, okay, well, I'm going to file exempt, and I'm going to donate my money to my charitable contribution of my choice. I know how much I'm making. I'm going to give me a tax-exempt receipt. So when it's time for me to do my taxes, or if I hypothetically get audited, you ain't doing nothing wrong. You got your receipts. You got the right to give a certain amount of money to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. We're not doing nothing wrong. One of my donors got audited, not because they did something wrong. They gave more than what they gave in 1 year. They got all the receipts. They wouldn't show it. They was like, oh, you guys doing a great thing. They was like, oh man, my dad was one of these as well. When he was donating, and his tax preparer was like, well, your son is a priest. He was like, why are you giving Uncle Sam this money? He was like, you need to be supporting to your son religious and charitable contribution for y'all can build infrastructure. This is what the tax preparer is selling. He's like, not only you, all your family. He said, I don't have a problem with the Jewish community. He was like, they don't deal with me. They just sit down and make sure they're doing things right, lawfully. But they was like, that's why they set up. We can have things. Our last name is supposed to be wealth, supposed to be our wealth, like Malik said. We don't own nothing. We all supposed to be stakeholders of when somebody got a mission, we all supposed to jump all the way in. And we're not all the way in. Why? Because we, like the Bible says, we lukewarm. I'm all the way in. My plan A is my plan B because I see it. Just like right now, you will have a house right now.
Scared to jump in. I said we double dutch. Yeah. Scared to jump in.
Yeah. Malik, a person that have a house right now, they say they own a house. I said, you don't pay your taxes on your house, you will lose it. And me and my movies will buy it and put it in a private trust and we own that forever. Because you paying a note, you can't afford it. This is the thing. You don't own nothing if you paying property tax. You will never own nothing. You would never own. If you say you own the house and then they say they're going to foreclose on it with Jack.
Well, hold on. We're all going to pay property tax, right? So it's not if you're not paying property taxes. It's if you're paying 1% of your mortgage note, you don't own the property.
No, listen to this. Listen to what I'm saying. I said, if you don't pay your property tax in the city of Flint or certain areas, you got a certain amount of time to be up on your property tax. If you don't pay your property tax, a person can come in and pay your property tax up based off the state that you're in. You got X amount of time to pay it up. If not, I can get your house. I don't give a damn if you had a 30-year mortgage, you own the last couple of years of the mortgage, but you behind on your taxes. I can come in and pay the property taxes and based off the law that's in your area, get your house from under you from the back taxes. And you've been paying on that house for damn near 30 years almost, and you can lose it on back taxes. That's what I showed y'all my friend houses. They losing it. That house is worth way more. And so a person can lose their house on what? Back taxes, how it's structured. Because it's in public. This is what I'm saying. You don't own nothing when you have a house, when you have a mortgage. You have a mortgage loan from a bank. The bank didn't give you a check cash and deposit it in your in your account. You didn't get no check from the bank and say, oh, well, this is how much, like when you go through your own finance company or through your own credit union. And instead of you going through these people's finances, your bank or your credit union cut you the check for it. And you go, hey, okay, say, well, here go the dealership. I don't need the y'all loan. I got the check from my credit union and you paying the credit union, whatever, you work that deal out, whatever it is. So when people get a mortgage, when I say, which is a dead debt, and a lot of people are in 19%. When you get I know a lady got a 19% loan. I said, ma'am, after that $100,000 loan, you paying almost 500 and some thousand, 560 to be exact. 19%. Most people paying double off a $100,000 loan. Yeah, Malik, 19%. I said, ma'am, what? Yes. Yeah. I said, ma'am, I teach this. It's all in the Bible. It's all in the Bible. I break it down. I said, ma'am, why would you get a 19%
credit card interest? I said 19% is credit card interest. That's diabolical.
Malik, we don't remember our people lost. Okay. Well, you get 100,000. Okay, Malik, let's play it simple. You get $100,000 loan right now, and you get a 30-year mortgage. When how that's gonna be structured at the end of that mortgage, you're gonna be paying almost $360,000, and that lender gonna get paid too. So it's still
two, three times the value of the home for sure.
You upside down. We don't know this. I said that you're going to pay almost 4 times as what the basic loan amount is for. You lose. And then a person say, well, it's my house. Okay, well, jack your house up off that land and go take it somewhere. Where you going to take it? Where you going to take it? Because you don't own a house.
No, you don't own no land, so you can't take it nowhere.
Are you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But your house and the land, but what you do, what people don't understand, your house and the land is all, if you don't know how to read, if you don't read the contract, those thick piece of paper, you don't know what you signed. You just happy, I got this mortgage. Okay, but you say I own the house, but do you own the land?
Nope.
So if you don't pay if you say you own the house and pay it off, but you don't pay the property taxes, which the house is on and property, all that, and they say, okay, well, I own the house. Well, take your house off that land. You can't. I ain't seen nobody jack their house off their land and take it, Malik. You haven't either. And if you have, all you gotta do is show me.
Not unless you had a mobile home.
I mean, right. And so this is how we lose our property. This is how we lose our property in probate court. This is how we lose because we don't understand group economics, because we're not under our religious and charitable contribution of our choice, where we control everything and owning nothing, and we just trustees over our estates. We just trustees over our estates, and all of us can own it. That's how group economics work. How? Because that's how the religious laws work. We tax exempt from the federal government. Religious, charitable, scientific, educational wise. We can control everything and own nothing. We can own so much. People can dedicate to the BBT. We can purchase things and donate it right to the BBT. The same way my other colleagues be doing. Oh, they purchase something and they will and they trust. This go to this go to the church. This go to the church. Or each year they just donate things to the church. They'll buy a van and donate it to the church. They'll buy this, they'll donate their cars to the organization, and then the organization got a fleet of cars or a fleet of vans, and now you got your own transportation service. Now you got your own non-medical emergency where you can take the seniors and the kids, you taking them to their hospital visits. You taking all the seniors in your community to their hospital visits instead of doing your ride, all through our organization. We taking kids to and from school, bringing them to our temple, all from our organization, and everybody get a tax and receipt to claim on their taxes. I try to break this down to our people, but believe our people haven't been taught this. And so we die and we don't have nothing. If you in a high tax bracket and I'm just going to give 100,000 and you have no deductions, you got to write Uncle Sam a fat check at the end of the year, even though they're taking a percentage of your money every time you get paid. Now, if you understand it and you donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice, you can donate that same or dollar for dollar, get a tax exempt receipt and offset what you owe Uncle Sam, because it's a certain dollar amount that you can donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. I'll give you all another analogy. Yes,
state.
Each state,
state laws.
Yes, and so I'll give a state like California because each state is different. In the state of California, you can give 60% of your earned income before taxes to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. So say we are multi-millionaires on here, say if it's 10 of us, and we say, man, I'm in $1 million, we making 10 million each year. Each year we don't have no deduction, so we got to write Uncle Sam a fat check at the end of the year. But here comes She Goodman Betty. He sit down with all of us and he pitched this. And you say, wait a minute, She, you said we can give 60% of our earned income to the BBT, and you can give us a tax exempt receipt, and we can take that to our religious and charitable contribution, and we can take that to our tax preparer, and that'll offset what we owe Uncle Sam, and then we'd have to be just responsible for the rest. Yes, or that rest you can donate to other organizations, or you can do dollar for dollar. But let's just stick on this. So say if you owe Uncle Sam, you making 10 million a year. Say you owe Uncle Sam $1 million taxes. You telling me all 10 of us can give 600,000 to the BBT, and we can give you a tax exempt receipt? That's exactly what I said. That's why we lose. That's why all the athletes, after they done playing, they don't have nothing, because they have these money managers and all this. And what they doing is they ciphering their money, even though you fulfilling your tax obligation. But a lot of times that money is going to their organizations. It's making their organizations rich. Oh, donate to this organization, donate to the blah, blah, blah. But they sit on the boards of those organizations. That's how they rich. That's how they get all the misnomer Black people unconscious, even though you're fulfilling your tax obligation, but your money is not being used in your community. We are supporting their organizations. We are supporting all their organizations. And we got to run to them for help under all their obligations, under all their contingencies. But we can set ourselves up the same way. We can have our own school. We can have our own doctor. We can have our own counseling for ADHD. We can have our own for mentor. We can have our own houses for a mentorship and single moms and kids that need it. That's what those funds are for. You say what, Noble?
And education.
And education. And that's how we win. But we giving it all away. So that's all I wanted to share. I don't know if Malik, did you want to add some more? Because you did my class July 17th.
Promote the class, the trust class, because it helps you understand all of these different avenues and how controlling everything and own nothing applies.
Islam. We have to get in the student realm, y'all. Remember, we are students. We have to learn. And my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. Education and knowledge equals power and wisdom. That's it. This is what I'm telling people. I don't care about your religion. We're not Orthodox. We're under the triple rules.
I have a question for all the people that possibly may be watching, right? Especially all my Christian people, right? If trusts are so important and a church is a trust, what churches are out there, honestly, that you can say is teaching you about trust? I just want to ask yourself that. If you go to a church How come they're not educating you about trust?
That's a good question, Malik.
Ask yourself that.
Ask your pastor. Ask your pastor if you donate to the church, why you don't have a tax-exempt receipt. You know, why you don't get a tax
in a church where they gave us tax-exempt receipts. So not everybody falls under that. Because I did grow up in a church where we got tax-exempt receipts at the end of the year.
Listen to what I'm saying. That's why we giving people something to compare to, because everybody don't fall under that. That's why we sharing things. Some people don't even know what a tax-exempt receipt is. That's why we got to cross all our T's and dot our I's. Because a person say a tax-exempt receipt, what's that? They be like, I've been donating to my church for years. I never got a tax-exempt receipt. And then I pay my taxes. A tax-exempt receipt is you donate to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. And the husband and wife giving a lot of money. And if they don't get a tax-exempt receipt, then they got to pay Uncle Sam. Well, you can get that tax-exempt receipt from your church and give it to your tax preparer. So no, everybody don't fall under that, but it's a lot that do.
So can't the church get in trouble for not mailing tax-exempt receipts?
No, that's on you. Have to want it. I'll give you an analogy and say yes or no. I can go right now and give money and donate a whole bunch of clothes to the Goodwill, and I can say I don't want a tax-exempt receipt.
Yeah, you can say you don't want it, but they ask you if you want one, though, right?
I mean, yeah, with yes and no. Yes and no. Once again, yes and no. Because sometimes they don't. Some stuff you have to know because they got the big thing on the wall and they say you scan that, and that's how you get your donation receipt. So yes and no. Everything they don't have to tell you. We should know this. That's why I said the lack of wisdom, the lack of education. Our people perish for the lack of knowledge. Everybody don't have to tell you these things. But if somebody's your religious head, this should cover all this. So no, they don't have to tell you, Malik. No, they don't have to tell you. They say, well, you ain't get your taxes and receipt. That has to be something that you should want. That has to be something that we understand. And once we understand that collectively as a group, we move forward. So I agree with what you're saying, but that's why we said we are filling all the holes in, because somebody would be like, well, I never heard of a tax-exempt receipt. Me and my mom and big mom, they gave to the church. My mom gave hundreds of thousands of dollars. They never get a tax-exempt receipt, and they have to pay taxes double. Yes, it's some people like that. It's luckily you went to your church and you got a tax-exempt receipt. Now the next question on that, Malik, did y'all use that to offset your taxes when you got that receipt, or did people just put it up?
Well, they didn't educate how to offset your taxes, if that's what you're saying. But I'm saying I got a tax-exempt receipt and filed that with my taxes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's how you do infrastructure. So imagine the churches are on at these mega churches that know what I'm saying, and you paying a 4-person lifestyle. You paying for them to get Bentleys and have all these big houses, and we still don't own nothing. The communities is impoverished. That's what we can do with these funds. That's what I'm saying. And so
what I do know about that, right, is the way it was presented, and I'm speaking only from my experience. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people out here in California that can relate. The way it was presented in the pulpit is that we need building funds for X, Y, and Z. They never mentioned, right, even though they got mailed us a tax-exempt receipt of what we did our tithes and offering, right? But the building fund and all those other things are also donations that are tax deductible from your taxes when you pay taxes in a year. But the lack of education and understanding of how that applies and how it could work is big time missed.
Yeah.
And I'm only speaking from experience. Okay. And it's no diss, but it's the education part, which what Sheik is talking about, is big time missed in churches, because they're not sitting young kids down. And when you get a job, you can do X, Y, and Z. This will help the church. You can actually come work for the church, and all the money that we pay you or in-kind services that we can pay you, because we might not have enough money to pay you, we can do that. That'll offset your taxes as well. So we can't give you in-kind services where they can't pay you because there's not enough money, cash flow coming in to where they could pay you. But I'm pretty sure most of these churches can pay their the bigger churches. You know, when you have like 400, 500, 600 people in your congregation, can pay the clergy members and the members of the church who do work for the church, if people understood how the economics work. But there's a lack of education in the churches. I'm just saying California, because there's no need for a mega church to have as much money as they have. And I'm speaking, some people don't know who I'm talking about. They have airplanes and helicopters, and pastors have these things, right?
Yeah.
And that the church has people who don't have housing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, you ready?
You should not have, if your pastor has an airplane, there's no reason for you to have any members in your congregation homeless.
All right, Malik. So you just touched on two things. So we got to touch on this real fast. Okay, the pastor have a house which they call a parsonage. That's tax exempt, and so the people paying for the pastor to live in the parsonage, because the parsonage is connected to the house. That's where the pastor lives. But that can go for everyone. We can own a fleet of houses and they be parsonage, because all my members are ministers.
You mean a parsonage is owned by the church?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
research. Yeah. We don't have to own just one parsonage. Just say all of our we all ministers.
Yeah.
And all that is tax, and all that's tax deductible, because the ministers stay in the parsonage. But what you just said as well is in-kind service. I don't know people, you said that, but once again, we're going to educate our people, because I know, Malik, you know, most of the people that I talked to, they didn't know what an in-kind service was until I brought that to us. In-kind service are now,
I sure didn't.
You say what? You didn't?
I didn't know what that was.
And you were adult. And you intelligent, Malik. You intelligent. So you got to imagine the rest of us, and the rest of our family, the church people, our mothers, our dads, because the child's supposed to become the teacher when we on this level. Our parents supposed to be listening. Our auntie's supposed to be listening. And that's the disconnection. That's the disconnection when you can't even get the ear of your own mama, your own dad, your own uncle, your own cousin, and they just giving their money away. And then they expect you to do something. It's like, we giving our money away. This is supposed to be about family. And so in-kind service is non-cash gifts, where a professional donates their time or expertise to a nonprofit organization. I'll give you an analogy. Malik come in, he's our strength and workout trainer. Malik come to our temple 3 days a week or 5 days a week and train. Man, Malik might charge, he might say, man, this worth X amount of dollars a month. But since y'all a religious organization, I like this, and I'm gonna do my community service. You can just give me a little donation for my time and let me draw the rest up as in-kind service or accounts receivable. In-kind service, boom, to where I can get that accounts receivable and say, we'll give Malik for his time. We'll say, Malik, we're giving you $2,500 a month in kind service, and we'll be able to give you X amount of money for your time and gas, just to keep money in your pocket for gas to get here. And then we also can have the people collect a suggested donation, or just say $25. Everyone come, and we ask for a suggested donation. A suggested donation means we are suggesting.
Yeah, and that's suggesting from.
Yes, it goes straight to your pocket. We can do this. This is the legality of what I've been telling people. We could say for Malik time, and say we got 30 people that's coming to the workout with Malik 3 or 4 or 5 days a week at the temple and school. It'll cost way more. But we draw that percentage up as in-kind service for Malik and claim on his taxes. But then we ask for a suggested donation, or just say $25 for each individual every other month or once a month from all those 30 people, so we can give Malik for his time. So now Malik got 25 times 30 coming in a month. He don't got to get paid. Why? Well, there ain't no reason. He got 30 people giving him $25 a suggested donation each month. Some people might give more if they want to. He got that coming in each month. And he doing a service.
Keep this a secret. Like, this be a secret. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah.
It should be public information to the congregation.
Yes. Yes. And that's what I tell people. Like, we giving our money away. We giving our money away, and we not taking advantage of it. The pastor, it can't be the only one to take advantage of this, because the only way we're able to do this collectively. And so when I said a parsonage is an official residence provided by a church for its pastors with the S, parson, or minister with an S. You can have more than one minister in your organization. Hell, the Catholic Church, they got a fleet of pastors. They got a fleet of priests. That's why they don't want them to get married and all that stuff, because everything go back to the church. But y'all don't understand that. They don't want you to have no kids and all that. Why? Because all your assets, everything go back to the church. So typically owned by the congregation. Typically owned by the congregation. It serves as housing for the clergy member and their family, and is often used to host church-related activities like small group meetings and counseling sessions. So that's how, when I use an analogy, we can buy that house in our city of Flint. We all be on the mortgage, all on the trust. We split that. It'll be about $700 a month. You know, with that $100,000 mortgage, and say a small minimum, we put $10,000 down. We own it. We own it all. But when you put the money together, you got a group of people. You can have 20 people giving $5,000, which is nothing, and then you just go buy the damn property. And you don't, like Malik said, we ain't got to have no damn mortgage or no that. We buy it, and now we can structure it all the way different because we own it. How? Because you had 20 of your members. How the church be targeting they old seniors with all them Ponzi schemes. You got 20 people with $5,000. We going to buy that house, that beautiful house. We going to buy it, and we restructuring it, turn it into a parsonage. Boom. The next thing we doing, we go buy a church building that's the city done left and people done left, because there's plenty buildings. We worked a deal, a cash deal. We buy that. Now we own all this. Now we start buying houses in our community, and we turn it to our religious community. This is how structure works. You have to be educated and knowledge, and I'll have the pleasure to learn this. I'm watching others win. I'm watching them do things under their religious organization that's tax exempt from the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, educational wise. Now we can have gardens, homes, already our big facility, a library, a computer lab, all these things, our own workout facility. How? Under our religious organization. That's tax exempt for the federal government under our structure. And we asking for a suggested donation, whoever is teaching the class each day. That's how we win. We ain't charging nothing. We asking for a suggested donation. And then we drawing my brother up as in-kind service. Why? Because this is his expertise. This is his skill set. That's like I got a skill set. That's like if I have Noble Alonzo come in and talk about setting up web design, that ain't my expertise. I don't know nothing about web design and doing that AI. I have to bring in my Mufti Alonzo Wright Bay, and we have to structure that up, and he'll teach a course on that. He'll teach the babies and the seniors how to do web design, how to do web pages and all that, because that's his expertise, and we'll draw it up with him. If anybody want to learn how to do refereeing, we got a ref on here, a professional and a college and a high school referee, my noble Lamar Barcade Blake. If we want a kid to learn how to do that, we can set that up the same way. My noble Malik is a coach. We can have our own basketball teams through our churches, to where if our kids don't make the high school team, they can still play organized ball, because we can have our leagues and show them skills and get them better. And then the next year they try out for the high school teams, and now they have it. We can have our own summer camp, our own basketball camps under our organizations, and the parents can support, and the parents can give donations, and the parents can get taxes and receipts instead of giving their money to Uncle Sam. And that's how we have what? Our program for our youth, our program ministry, arts and crafts and chess playing, because everybody not athletes, and martial arts, all these different things that we can provide. How? The people can support it. Who? The family, the parents. And so this is what I wanted to share with us.
Oh, I got something to say on that, what you said, right? Well, a lot of our people, they always move to the new schools and the new this and the new that. They already want somebody to develop them for them, and they're okay with joining it, but they're never part of the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we're asking you all, to be part of the process, so you can really feel like it's really your own, right? And you have a say so because you're a stakeholder. That's the big difference. You always have to be grounded by or operated by somebody else's understanding and curriculum and structures and things of that nature, when you could be part of developing the curriculum and the structure, the infrastructure and things of that nature, that we always know is going to benefit our people, and stop asking them for permission.
Yeah. And I want to give clarity, because you put something in the text stream, like, I got to share everything. You said, I have to remember that the water is bad in Flint. That's the truth, and falsehood is strangely mixed. The water messed up in all urban neighborhoods. Y'all just don't know. See, this is the thing with the lack of information and the lack of wisdom, that we don't know. Flint is not the only one. The water infrastructures in most areas is bad. It just been an eyeball on the city of Flint. My parents live on the outskirts of Flint, so the water's not messed up in the whole area. Once you cross a certain street, when my parents live across a Davidson Road, but our address is still considered Flint, but it's not. It's Davidson. Once you cross that, the water is not messed up. So when I say Flint is for sale, you don't have to be in a so-called hood. The whole city is for sale. It's probably the same property that I showed y'all like that. It's property in these other outskirts of the city of Flint, like Davidson, Currently, Montrose, all these certain areas. So when a person say Flint, yeah, certain hood, certain areas. So we have to understand that too, and we don't get discouraged on things. But once again, you have things you can buy reverse osmosis machines. I don't care how bad the water is messed up. Once you own property and once you own land and you own water, you can clean your water. It's ways to clean. It's like if we were in the military. I know certain chemicals. Say if we all out in the wild, Army people, it's a certain chemical that you can take. You can scoop a whole bunch of water that got dirt, all that stuff in it. Put a certain chemical, a natural chemical in it. Give it a certain time. Keep checking it. After a certain amount of time, the water is good to ingest. The water is good to bathe in. Why? Because it's been cleaned right. So when we say that, we off. You know, not you, we off. And that keep us from buying things. And that's what they want. Oh, the water's messed up. No, it ain't. The pipe's messed up, not the water.
Yeah, the pipes are messed up. Yeah.
The pipes messed up, not the water. And that's in every urban area. Bro, that's all over. And when you test all of Ohio, any urban neighborhood, the water is messed up. How I know? Because I did this in school. They were like, how do you know all this? I said, the information is there. We'll just say that like the reason why it is because that's an excuse. We got more excuse than a-holes. I always say that. And I say that's an excuse because the world is big. When I say Flint, I talk about the outskirts as well because everybody water ain't messed up. Everybody water ain't messed up. I know a man in the city of Flint that made a whole osmosis water thing. Right on.
Yeah.
That said,
oh, collect rainwater.
Yeah.
You collect rainwater and make fresh water.
Yes. So we just want to have access to it. I always tell people, we got to understand gifts and skills. Everybody can't have the same skill. It's people that have these skills. Brick masons, people that know how to do drywall, people that know how to do electrical, people know how to fix cars, people know how to build. You have all that. That's a community. And we have people that know how to do this. We have people that know how to deal and tap in that water. We have people that say, oh, that ain't nothing, Sheik. We got this running water. We'll just connect our reverse osmosis system to it, and we have clean water. Done deal. So this is the discussion that me and my muftis be having. And this is the discussion. We're not debating each other or trying to say, well, this is wrong because neither one of us wrong. Because those questions everybody have. That's why I love these discussions. And I know I had the pleasure to be a part of a thing called the Think Tank, AKA Silicon Valley at GCU, where every couple months they come together and come up with their business ideas. I saw different people come up with their businesses. I saw misnomer Chinese get their hair salon. They put their money together. They move in companies and they win based off the ideas that we have. And so I know people that done move. I know groups of families that's unmelanated, done moved to the city of Flint already, and they bought a church and they buying houses out on the outskirts of the city of Flint because it's so cheap. They bought farmland and they own a whole bunch of stuff and they building their small houses on 20 acres and they parcel and they church and they temple is right down the street from it. So they were like, I don't know what people saying, Sheik. They're like, you right, and we can have farmland. Once we got animals a thing, then the whole land goes up, and now it's farmland. Now that's a whole different tax bracket. Now we got chickens and cows and turkeys and sheep and horses, and we know people how to raise them. Now we can have, especially in Arizona, we can have orange trees, lemon trees, grapefruit trees, a hops farm. People don't even know what hops is. As we close, let me give y'all an analogy. You got to have the hops to make the beer. So when we first moved out here, when y'all first met me and my Empress, we worked a deal for 40 acres. I didn't have the vision for that, but I met my Amish homeboy in school. His name was Khalid. He used to see me with my fez on every day. He's like, it's something special about you. And we got to talking. He was like, man, let me show you how we live. And I'm like, what you mean? He was like, that stuff you see on TV about that Amish, that's fake. That ain't real. He was like, we own 200 acres. I said, 200 acres where, Malik? He said, in St. John's, Arizona. He said, we got all X, Y, Z. I said, you lying. He said, okay, they go to address, boom, boom, boom. You and your Empress, y'all get a time, come visit us. Sure enough, we go out there, Malik, 200 acres. I mean,
they got that in Pennsylvania. Like they own a lot of area in Pennsylvania. They own a lot of area in Pennsylvania too.
Well, these brothers, these ain't European. This is a group of Amish brothers. His name Khalid. This is what I'm telling people. These is brothers. This is a whole family. This is a whole melanated Amish family. No European, no Anglo-Tradite or no Anglo-Saxons. They choose to be Amish. These is brothers. His name is Khalid, and he said he'll more. They just under that Amish way of lifestyle. They come down to the city every time. They go grocery shopping here and there. They own 200 acres off the grid. Don't nobody mess with them. They got satellite. They got buses converted to property. They got the metal rail cars. They got gardens of everything. And so,
well, the hard thing about melanated people is the way they've been conditioned throughout history is that they always seen that people's stuff burned down. So they have a traumatic teaching when it comes to these things. And I understand it, I'll get it, but I'm just not falling for it. You get what I'm saying? Because that's just their way of teaching you, so you don't think that you could do X, Y, and Z. So I get it. And then your example of this guy Khalid, doing it and then not being bothered. Because you also have, when you have private property, you have a right to protect your property.
And Malik,
you have to have a nationality to do so. Oops.
And Malik, see, that's why I love our conversation. That's why I say, people, this is a think tank. We don't have the think tank where people ask questions. So let me give another analogy. So when you say they burn stuff down, so you talk about Black Wall Street and you talk about in Philadelphia, right? But they don't have
flooding, those things.
Okay, but the two, we talk about Black Wall Street, we talk about Philadelphia. Those are the two main ones. But they don't talk about we don't have enough fingers and toes, Malik, collectively to talk about all the people that own land. So I use Philadelphia. They did this in a certain neighborhood with already local laws and state laws. So in a local neighborhood, you can't live off the grid. You can't not have power. You can't have animals and stuff walking around. Why? Because you got neighbors that ain't rocking with that. And you already got the local and state laws that's going to trump that. So you can't take over a neighborhood where other people ain't part of your community and have dogs and have all this and have X, Y, Z, have training expositions. You can't do that unless you get permits. So I'm not saying what's right and what's wrong. What I'm saying, we can't let discouragement, and we can't let, when they throw things in our face and say, when you do this, this is going to happen. When you build this, it's going to be destroyed. No, we got to do it the right way. And we got to sit down and strategize and do it the right way. We can do things the right way. And today, the community is for sale. You have to do it the right way. Your religious and charitable contributions, you can set it up. And I also close, when y'all get a chance, look up Mama Sue in Highland Park, Michigan. Her name is Mama Sue. Her in Highland Park, Michigan. She's running for mayor. She bought a whole block. She's the lady. And she was like, what you doing? She was like, wait till you get on the pop. And she was like, it's going to happen so fast because you're a religious entity and you're educated and you know what you're talking about and you got brothers with you. She owned a whole block, Malik. She got a house for after school activities in the library. She have her own boutique where they have block boutiques. This is all owned by Mama Sue. We don't own nothing and everything we can take in our community. So yes, we get discouraged with the negative, but we don't talk about the positive. And I get the negative. It's like if I showed all my pictures when I was in my lower self, when I was young, hanging with all my brothers, and I thought I was a hustler. I'm not showing nobody that. The kids don't like me from that. They already got that trauma. They want to see us doing this and how they can win. This is the positive aspect. And if we're doing things out of collectively, lawfully, the right way, we can't be stopped. Why? Because we have the right to do what we're doing. And so when we do things, if we take over a neighborhood, if we adopt a street, we got to buy the whole street. Like I give the analogy I done told y'all, when I get ready to go back on the 22nd, I would love for you to come visit when I get there, Malik. I'll show you how we can buy whole streets. We could buy whole streets and it can be our religious street and it can be private. And we can create on our own street. We can have our own street. We could call it the Reed and the Goodman Street. We can call it whatever we want. It'll be our street. People have to get buzzed in, just like Chinatown, just like Jewishtown, right in our urban community. And Mama Sue in Highland Park, she all on Instagram and she's running for mayor in Highland Park. If you look at that, for inspiration, because I look at things for inspiration, because I'm inspired. I'm on fire right now. I'm telling you, I'm on fire to the flesh going, I know what we can do. Why? Because I'm showing us what we can do. And people doing it with small donations. And they like, sheep, with what you doing and how you moving, once it catch on, y'all own a whole block. Then y'all own stuff off the grid where y'all can go off the grid and have y'all animals and y'all farm and all that. You can own this in your community. But in our neighborhood, we can own a whole block. And put our single moms and put seniors in it with our temple right in the middle, with our beautiful park, Malik, with our beautiful garden. And then brothers can start traveling and doing things. We don't have nothing. And so that's my vision. And our family must understand that they can help. But we giving all our wealth away, Malik. But not my mom and my dad. The only reason why I talk about me, because my mom and my dad is my biggest supporters. Once I showed my dad this, he went to his tax preparer. My dad was like, never again. My dad made down near $250,000 just waking the hell up. He's been retired for years. He said, I'm done giving my money away. My mom too, 2 of my aunts, and my professor. They're like, we done. We're gonna support you, and we want to see this happen for you. This is what I be telling people. I said, we are cursed in our families. Why? Because our families would rather go to churches, give it to church, and then come home and talk about it, or think they're getting a tax return. That's why we lose it.
Right.
Anything else, Malik?
Nah, I mean, I think we covered we invited everybody, and whether you come and show up, it's up to you. Don't take me wasn't trying to share.
Yeah.
And then we start developing, and you could have been a part of it. Somebody, can I join? Yeah, we're gonna have a time and place for that, but why not get in on the beginning?
Yep. And we own 10 acres right now of prime real estate. We own 10 acres right now. Collectively, all people got to do is trust us and come in and be stakeholders and come to our Zoom meetings and be like, okay, these brothers doing this, and you get a taxes and receipt. It's just like donating to your church and watch us build infrastructure. And so your kids can see this, so your kids can have a future. It's about right now. The kids can be the future if we're not teaching them nothing, if we're not showing them infrastructure, if we're not showing them development. It's now. This is now. The kids can be the future. They're going to be repeated the same thing. How? Watching our parents. I got to do my taxes. Instead of saying, we donate to our organization. Look what we built. Look what we own. We already own 10 acres already right now under our charter, under the Burning Bush Tabernacle. We just purchased more land. Me and my Mufti Malik, we just worked another deal out on land. Once we get enough people that own an idea, we can go put our structure on it. We can put our pole barn and have our 4-wheelers. Now we got our garden and our farm. Now we can have somebody living on it. This is what this is about. And we can build wealth under our religious organization that's taxes in for the federal government. We have the right to do this. America is for sale. We don't have to squat in nothing. We do things the right way, and we tax exempt for the federal government. Once we understand this collectively, once family and moms know this collectively, and they think they're getting a tax return, they cipher that. We give you a tax exempt receipt, and we build infrastructure, and we own things. So with that, I'm going to stop right there. I will hope people get with us July 17th on private Zoom. Everyone is welcome, only for a small $50 donation. It's going to be packed with information. I'm going to have the catalogs and the information for you can learn. And Malik, what's going to end up happening is a lot of this stuff is going to be pre-recorded because we got a different class each month on the 17th. I'm going to pre-record things to where it's set up because you struck a nerve on me this morning when we was working out. Our stuff is already pre-recorded. So if a person can't work out with us right now, they can work out with us later. So once I pre-record these things and give them out to people, you can watch it at a later time. You can watch it at a later time. You can watch it with your kids. It'll be pre-recorded. The lesson plan, the questions, and then if anything else, we can have a panel where we can have Q&As. But all the information will be pre-recorded. All the information will be there. And if anybody got questions, the 2-week course, the last week will be all Q&As. And everything can be pre-recorded, because you got to ask questions. These are not lectures I'm going to be doing. These are not lectures I'm gonna be doing. If I don't get enough people to donate, I'm just gonna, part of our culture, I'm just gonna teach this to those that want to be taught. And once again, y'all, Malik already said it. We lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. I can't have all college people taking my course. I can't have all people that don't look like me taking my course because that's all taking my course right now. It's college students. And they laugh and they're like, you providing this for a $50 donation. At the university, it'll cost you $1,500 and they'll drag it out for 3 months. Yep. And I'm offering this to our people for a small $50 donation. I know everybody don't have a lot of money. That's why I'm doing it for $50. So it's a no-brainer to you. It's just like you're going to buy you a receipt. And you get a taxes and receipt. You should be telling all your friends. You should be telling all your friends to come learn this. And so, once again, I destroyed due to a lack of knowledge, and we have a gift, and we're trying to show people that we can build our infrastructure with the money we have. We don't have to keep giving our wealth away. We can recycle that to an organization. We can get a taxes and receipt, and we can build collectively. All my info is in the bio. My emails and my text should be blowing up. But Malik, my text is full right now with college students. Was like, well, would you come to the college and teach it? I said, well, y'all be able to just join me on Zoom, you know? And so that's why I be crying a lot. I said, dude, I have a skill. I want y'all to use me. Friends and families use me. But until then, man, I love y'all. Thank y'all for taking time out y'all day for listening to little old me. All my information in my bio. Nova Malik, we good?
Yep, we're straight.
Our most American prayer.
Love. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen, Ashe, Shalom Aleichem, Arash. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, peace. Take us out, brother. I'm a spirit seeking. I have
I'm a spirit speaking, truth seeking, heart reaching, knowledge leaking, seeds sowing, harvest reaping, man of neither means. I have yet to leave, I'm still breathing. To quit, I have no reason. I mean, I'm asleep, but I be trying to live my dreams. I cannot even act if it's all easy. Either you gon' do it or you don't really. It ain't no in between. Baby, you can ask the sun, it's an everyday theme. Consistency in your routine is how you bring reality. Work